Hi everyone, welcome to Infinite Women. I'm Allison, and today we're talking about artist Augusta Savage. This is an excerpt from my book, The View from the Hill, Women Who Made Their Mark After 40, so I will link that below if you'd like to check it out. The odds of becoming an artist were stacked high against Savage, not least because of her strict father, a Methodist minister who hated his daughter's early interest. "My father licked me 4 or 5 times a week," Savage once recalled of his physical abuse, "and almost whipped all the art out of me." Born in 1892, Savage married her first husband and had a child while still in her teens. By 1924, she had lost 3 husbands, 2 to death and 1 to divorce. Failing to find her desired professional success in Florida, Savage left her daughter Irene with her parents and moved to New York. Enrolling at the Cooper Union School of Art, she completed the 4-year program in 3 years and was awarded a fellowship in 1929 to study in Paris, and later a grant to support 8 months of travel in France, Belgium, and Germany. Returning to New York in 1932 at age 40, she founded the Savage Studio of Arts and Crafts, becoming an influential teacher during the later years of the Harlem Renaissance. In 1934, she was the first African American artist admitted to the National Association of Women Painters and Sculptors. Savage was appointed the first director of the Harlem Community Art Center in 1937, when it opened as part of the Federal Art Project. Not long after, she was commissioned by the New York World's Fair of 1939 to craft a sculpture symbolizing African Americans' musical contributions. The resulting piece, the harp, was her largest work and last major commission, leading to her taking an almost 2-year leave of absence from the Harlem Community Art Center in order to complete the 16-foot sculpture. Drawing inspiration from James Weldon Johnson's poem Lift Every Voice and Sing, the harp featured 12 black singers in graduated heights, forming the strings of a harp. But after the fair closed, all its artworks were destroyed. The sculpture and 2 years of Savage's work were gone, a symbol of what was to come. When she tried to return to the Harlem Community Art Center, Savage found that someone else had assumed the role of director, and the center would close a few years later when federal funding was cut off during World War II. In 1939, she opened the Salon of Contemporary Negro Art, a small gallery in Harlem. But by this time, the Harlem Renaissance had waned, and the art center closed soon after opening for lack of funds. Things would only get worse as, for years, she was unable to find support for a showing of her work or further commissions, likely due in part to the increasing U.S. involvement in World War II in the early and mid-1940s. Depressed, Savage left Harlem for the Catskills Mountains in 1945, and reestablished a relationship with her daughter Irene, now in her 30s. Finding peace in the country, Savage taught local children, produced the occasional portrait sculpture of tourists, and took up writing, though none of her work was published. She died in relative obscurity in 1962. Join us next time on Infinite Women, and remember, well-behaved women rarely make history.